Food was a scarce resource throughout the war, leaving very little resources for the locals to live off of. Many starved throughout the Japanese occupation. The Japanese military found it difficult to control a place with as big a population as Hong Kong, leaving their new territory vulnerable to a possible counterattack by the Allied forces. The Japanese government put in charge of Hong Kong, therefore tried to recruit all local skilled persons to help rebuild Hong Kong's infrastructure. The Governor-General considered highly skilled laborers and technicians as the following. 1. Factory workers who are necessary to make products and to ensure that the factories stay operating. 2. Crewmen, ship and plane mechanics and builders. 3. VIPs of the Kuomintang were allowed to stay in Hong Kong because they could probably be of use in the future for negotiations. 4. If their occupation is related to agriculture or production. 5. The ones with established livelihood. 6. The ones who were designated to stay in Hong Kong by the military authorities. This list also included the British and other Western executives of the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and the Mercantile Bank of India, London, and China. They were forced to sign banknotes so the Japanese could use them. They were to also do their daily work to maintain Hong Kong as a financial base for the Japanese Empire. Those who were not deemed skilled found it difficult to find the means to feed themselves and their families. Many tried to flee, making their way to the interior of China or to neutral Macau, while those who could not afford to leave suffered or died from starvation or abuse by the Japanese or hired soldiers. The Japanese officials and soldiers conducted a series of searches and exams to remove locals unfit for skilled labor or who posed health risks. At the port, the Japanese officials conducted exams of the feces of the civilians. Civilians were told to bend down as the officials used an anal speculum to scrape inside their rectum. Many survivors recall their deep embarrassment and shame during such physical examinations. The military police, the Kempeitai, sometimes arrested those that weren't considered highly skilled and placed them in the Hong Kong mainland border with merely a handful of food. Some of the population were sent to Hainan Island as slave labor to extract iron ores. It was estimated that about 1.4 million people were purposefully removed or expelled from the entire Hong Kong population in order to maintain a manageable population with such limited resources.